Hey there, YouTubers. Today I want to take you guys back into the past a little bit. Let me take you back in the day to about 2015, 2016. And during that period, I quit smoking for about a year and 3 months, maybe a little bit more than that. And something that I did for myself during that period that I recommend that you try yourself is what I did is when I quit smoking, I got a jar at the house and I started putting money into that jar. Now, everything that I would normally spend on cigarettes, which was at that time about $5.25 a pack, I took that money every single day. I made sure that I had that exact cash on me. You know, if I had a big bill, I'd stop at the store and bust it on a soda or something on the way home. But I made sure I had $5.25 every single day. And instead of spending it on cigarettes, I took it and I stuck it in a jar. And at first, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but that adds up pretty significantly. After a little bit over a year, I took that money and I decided what I would do is reward myself for having quit smoking for all the time that I did. And I'm going to show you here in a second. Actually, the camera is sitting on top of what I bought myself as a present. Again, as a reward for not smoking for that whole period of time. And see, the thing about it is, you know, when you first quit smoking, you notice the health effects. You know, you notice that you're not coughing as much. You notice that, you know, you don't get winded as easily. You notice that you wake up in the morning and you don't have that, you know, that pain in your upper back, like your lungs and everything. But over time, that kind of dies down. And I kind of relate that to, like, if you have a puppy in the house, or a dog, actually. But when it started out as a little puppy, you know, you can put it in your hands and everything like that. And, you know, 6 months later, you know, a year later, your dog's huge. But you don't notice that because the dog lives with you every day and you see it every day. So you don't really notice the changes that have been made until you take a comparison. You take a picture of you holding it in your hand, you know, however long ago, and then you look now and be like, oh my gosh, my dog's huge. But you don't notice that on an everyday basis. The same as when you quit smoking, you notice the health effects at first, but then you kind of lose touch with that. You know you're healthy, but you kind of lose the reward feeling for having stopped smoking all that time. And another thing about it is that when you stop smoking, there is a void that kind of needs filled because smoking is more an emotional attachment than just a physical addiction. So you have a void that you need filled. And so what I did, like I was saying, I put money in that jar every single day. And, you know, like every week I would count it. And, you know, it started off at $40, give or take, you know, $42, something like that. And then it's 80 something. And then it's, you know, 120 something. Then it's 160 something, 170, 80. And it keeps on growing. And before you know it, after that extended period of time without smoking, I'd put right at $2,000 in cash in a jar, you know, at my house. Now, something I'll never do again, of course, you know, I'd recommend like a savings account and actually taking money every single day and having it filtered from your main bank account to that savings account, and just, you know, whatever it costs you for cigarettes, because, you know, now my same pack of cigarettes would cost me over $6, so it'd be more money. But whatever you would spend on cigarettes every single day, don't. Instead, put that money back, save it, and reward yourself at some point in the future. Maybe you need a new laptop, you know, computer. It'd be nice to be able to go to the store and pay cash for a new laptop computer, wouldn't it? It would be good to, if you're in a band or you like band stuff, you know, maybe you want a new set of drums or a guitar. You know, maybe you need a new car. And the thing about it is you spend money so mindlessly on cigarettes every day that you don't realize how much you're spending until you look back at, you know, how long you've been smoking and actually do some math and figure out, I had thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars tied up in cigarettes, and I have nothing to show for it. So it's really important that you buy yourself something that's a tangible asset, just a reminder every day of why you quit. And see what I have here, I can touch it every day, I can see it every day, you know, it's there in front of me. Now, granted, I've struggled with smoking since this, but right now I'm off of cigarettes again. So let me show you what I bought myself. There's my bike right there. That's mine. So what I did is when I saved up all that money in a jar, I'm a motorcycle rider. I've been riding motorcycles for 11 years. I went through a little gap there where I didn't have one. One of my former motorcycles went to trade in on a car because I really needed a car, and the other motorcycle went towards a down payment for a home that I currently have. So they went off for good causes, but that gap without motorcycle riding, I really wanted to ride a motorcycle. So I never had the money to do that, and I didn't realize how much money I was just wasting, on smoking. So when I was able to save all that money in that jar, I was able to go down and pay cash for a down payment for this bike. And I gotta tell you, for me, I was spending between 160 and 170 a month on cigarettes. This bike right here costs me like $45 for the payment and like $20 for insurance. So I could have bought 3 of these if I wanted to. Well, I wouldn't have had the down payment, but you get the idea. As far as payments go, I could have afforded a bike. Maybe you need a car. Maybe your car is a clunker, and you can get yourself not like a brand new shiny luxury vehicle, but you can get yourself a newer, used, reliable vehicle, to replace what you have if you stop smoking and put that money back. So the point of this video is just to let you know that, or actually a tip anyway, a really good tip for if you are quitting smoking, make sure you put that money back. Don't just let that money disappear, into, just buying extra snacks at the store or something. That's not what you want to do with it. You want to make sure that money's there so you can feel it and what you've done and what you've done to help yourself, by quitting smoking. Of course, health effects and then financial effects. So my recommendation to you is quit smoking, of course, and take that money, put it back, collect it, in a savings account or in a jar at the house, whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with, and watch that money and all those savings just grow. And then buy yourself something as a reward for not smoking. And hell, down the road, buy yourself another reward. It doesn't matter. Just do something good with that money instead of putting it into something that you're never going to see anything out of. Like I said, cigarettes, you buy them, you smoke them, they're trash after that. You have nothing to show for all that money. And at one point I actually did some calculations on how much I'd spent on cigarettes for the 10-year period that I had been smoking at the time. Over the course of 10 years spending money on cigarettes, $20,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of cash in the savings account. And that's another thing you can do with your money. You don't have to necessarily buy something. Start a retirement account. Take that money and invest it in the stock market, or something like that. But whatever you do, do something good for yourself. Make sure it's something you can see, touch, every day. Hello, bug. Just make sure you reward yourself for not smoking. And I hope your progress is doing good. I hope that the reason why you're watching this video is because you're trying to quit smoking or you have quit smoking. My hat's off to you. I hope the best for you. I hope you can turn your back on it and never look back at it, and buy yourself something nice to reward yourself for what you've done. All right, thanks guys. I'll catch up with you next time.